I'm Steve Kuncewicz, I'm a partner at BLM and I'm head of our creative, digital and marketing sector. I'm incredibly lucky in that I get to work with agencies and agency owners working on issues that are important to them and important to the wider sector. So this is the first in what we hope is going to be a very regular series of blogs talking about issues that we hope are of importance to you. So we're sat in work life on a Monday morning at the heart of Manchester's creative, digital and marketing sector in a co-working space, surrounded by loads of exciting businesses either on their way up or scaling or moving into something differently, embracing disruption, embracing change, and that's part of the things that we want to bring out in these vlogs. Talking through change, because change is happening, in the words of one of my friends Tom Cheesewright, at a much higher frequency. Things are moving faster, the regulatory landscape is changing very quickly, and the way platforms deal with their users is changing very quickly as well. At the minute, what's particularly important to an awful lot of agencies is how Twitter works, because how it works is changing for a number of different reasons. Right now we're in the middle of the general election campaign 2019 and we've seen action being taken by Google and Twitter to ban political advertising, or at least limit the effects of political advertising. Now I think that's important because while last week this was talked about as something of a theory, as a new policy that Twitter were bringing in, that Google were bringing in, that was going to be implemented fairly quickly, we've actually seen Twitter and Google, and particularly Google, take some action over the course of the last 48 hours to ban a couple of ads by the Conservative Party. But that's not the only change that Twitter are making at the moment. I was speaking to the Telegraph last week, talking about the fact that Twitter had been working very hard to sweep across a number of what they refer to as dead accounts. Now that's led to a number of different issues, mainly from individuals, actually specifically from the husband of Jo Cox, who said this would be a terrible thing to do due to the fact that Jo Cox's children wouldn't unfortunately be able to see Jo's series of tweets anymore, wouldn't be able to get a sense of who she is or what she believed in. Now this goes to show that yes, certainly when you're an agency putting a lot of faith in one particular platform, maybe justified, it may be what the client wants, but it's important to remember that you've got to spread their spend and your attention across a number of different platforms and a number of different services. And that's going to make you more sustainable, that's going to make you more resilient as and when real changes happen. And real changes will happen because, as we've seen recently with Twitter, social media is now becoming a part of everyday life, just as much as it's becoming part of how we move on from that life when we talk about memorialising of accounts. So do think about change. Change, as you all know, is here, it's not going anywhere. And do remember that if you are depending upon a service, get to know their terms of service, get to know their privacy policies, their user terms, get to know what you can and can't do on them, because if you're running cross-platform campaigns, you're going to need to be compliant across all of them. And that's hopefully where we can help you.